The federal government is this morning renewing its pressure on the states to wind back lockdowns and border closures, even as New South Wales sets a new national daily record of COVID cases. There are 1,218 people who've contracted coronavirus and 6 more deaths in that state's latest reporting period. But the Premier Gladys Berejiklian has instead highlighted the large numbers of people being vaccinated, claiming that, as she sees it, is the most relevant number for New South Wales.
It comes as the Federal Treasurer used an opinion piece to argue states must ease lockdowns once vaccination rates are high, because the risk to the economy and people's mental health was unacceptably high. The piece came just hours after Victorian Premier Daniel Andrews confirmed that his state's 6th lockdown will be extended. Let's get more from our reporters. Lara Himes is in Sydney and Steph Ferrier is in Melbourne. Good morning again to both of you. Lara, New South Wales set a new cases record, but the Premier's certainly got a message she wants to get across.
Good morning, Lisa. Well, obviously those case numbers are a concern, a record set yesterday, but perhaps what's even more concerning is that some of the experts saying that we haven't even reached the peak yet. We do know with these case numbers, they are being factored into government policy in terms of when we're going to open up, but we did hear the Premier yesterday, Gladys Berejiklian, wanting to pivot the message on those vaccination case numbers or those vaccination rates. 6.7 million jabs have been administered. It means that 65% of us have had our first dose and just over 35% of us have had our second dose. We also heard from health officials yesterday who were keen to highlight the risk of being unvaccinated and being in ICU.
Unfortunately, we're seeing large numbers of people in hospital with COVID. 813 people are admitted at the moment with COVID into New South Wales hospitals, including 126 in intensive care and 54 who require ventilation. Of those 126, 113 were not vaccinated and 12 had received 1 dose of vaccine.
And there's an issue in the state's prison system, I understand, Lara.
Well, some of the details came out yesterday that there were 12 inmates affiliated or with the Parkley Correctional Facility. This is located in Sydney's western suburbs. Contact tracers are still trying to work out how those 12 inmates tested positive. The prison has gone into lockdown while they try to identify exactly what happened there. Some of the justifications for that is they say that this may have happened, this transmission may have happened while prisoners were moving from facility to facility. We also heard that the Bathurst jail has recorded 6 cases, 6 correctional officers tested positive to the virus. That's some more concerning news for the western parts of New South Wales. 25 cases were recorded in Bathurst yesterday.
Thanks, Lara. Steph, can you tell us what's the outlook in Victoria? The Premier's said that we're not coming out of lockdown.
Good morning, Lisa. No, he made that pretty clear, given that we had 92 local new cases yesterday. That's the highest number since September during this state's deadly second wave last year. And most concerningly, of those 92 local cases, there are still 31 of them that are unlinked to the current outbreak, and just 19 of them were in isolation for their full infectious period. The Premier, in his words, acknowledges that this 6th lockdown is bloody tough, but he still can't give us a time frame on when we're going to come out of it. He says he still needs to get information from the Chief Health Officer, and also on whether or not there will be any small concessions made as we drag through this. After all, this was supposed to just be a 7-day circuit breaker. We're now into our 27th day, and business leaders are asking for a real roadmap out of this lockdown, while the tourism sector here says that it could collapse if it doesn't get any further assistance from the Andrews government. Epidemiologists, though, do say that this lockdown is actually working despite those high case numbers. That's because they say that without it, the case numbers would have actually skyrocketed. And the Premier says that he still believes we can drive these case numbers down to very low levels. He says he's also received an assurance from the Prime Minister that any new additional rollout of the vaccines will be given to Victoria in terms of its fair share, and there won't be any preferential treatment this time around to New South Wales.
Thank you very much, Steph and Lara.